Anytime you use a computer, a smartphone, or heck, even a modern car, you are interacting with the legacy of a programming language that was born way back in the 1970s. So, let's dive into the story of C. This is the language that, kind of secretly, runs our entire digital world.
So to really wrap our heads around this, let me ask you a question. What if your operating system could, what if it could dream? What language would it dream in? If your phone or computer had a native tongue, a fundamental language it thinks in, what would that be? Well, for a massive chunk of our tech history, the answer has been C.
Okay, to really get why C was such a game changer, we gotta go back in time. I'm talking about the early days of computing. Think massive, room-sized machines, a time when every single piece of software was basically a one-off, custom-built creation. And as you can probably guess, that created a huge problem.
I mean, just imagine this. You write an absolutely brilliant novel, but only one specific person in the entire world can read it. That's pretty much what programming was like back then. The code was completely tied to the specific hardware it was written for. So if you wanted to move a program to a new machine, you were looking at a complete, often painful, rewrite from scratch. This was just a massive roadblock, especially when you're trying to build something as foundational as an operating system.
But, a roadblock like that, this problem of non-portable code, it just couldn't last forever. And the solution? Well, it came from a place that was responsible for just countless technological breakthroughs, the legendary Bell Labs.
And here's the crucial part. C wasn't just some academic thought experiment. Nope, it was built out of pure necessity. Two engineers, Dennis Ritchie and Ken Thompson, over at Bell Labs, they needed a better tool. Why? Because they were building their brand new, totally revolutionary operating system, which you've probably heard of, Unix. C actually evolved from an earlier language called B, and it was literally tailor-made for this one incredibly complex job.
And let me tell you, C didn't just succeed, it completely took over the world. It had this amazing combination of features that, really, no other language at the time could even touch. You could almost call them its superpowers.
So, C's dominance really came down to three powerful pillars. First, and maybe the most important of all, was portability. For the very first time, you could write your code once and have it run on totally different kinds of computers. I mean, that was absolutely revolutionary. Second was just raw efficiency. C is incredibly fast. That's because it gives programmers direct control over the computer's memory, which is what we experience as that snappy, responsive software we all love. And third, it gave programmers low-level access. It was the perfect bridge between instructions a human can understand and the ones and zeros that the machine speaks.
And this right here, this shows you the impact perfectly. Unix was written in C, which in turn inspired Linux, but it doesn't stop there. The kernels, the very core of Windows, macOS, iOS, Android, all of them have C deep down in their DNA. The foundation of pretty much your entire digital life was built with this language.
But the story doesn't just stop with operating systems, not by a long shot. C's influence is just so profound that it basically became the grandparent to a whole family of languages that programmers are still using every single day. Let's take a quick look at that family tree. Yeah, you can see the lineage right here, plain as day. You've got C++. It was created as a direct extension of C, just adding a bunch of new features on top. Then you have Java, which borrowed heavily from C's syntax and its structure. And that was smart, because it made it feel really familiar to a whole generation of C developers. And honestly, this is just a tiny sample. The full family tree is absolutely massive.
And here's the real kicker. Even if a language isn't a direct descendant, it's very likely standing on C's shoulders. Think about languages like Python or Perl. The core interpreters, the actual programs that run your Python code, are themselves written in C. Why? For that raw performance. C is the powerful engine humming away under the hood.
So C's influence is pretty undeniable at this point, right? But what does the language itself actually look like under the hood? Let's take a second and explore the fundamental building blocks that a programmer actually uses to build all these powerful systems. You'll see it's way more logical than you might think.
Honestly, the best way to think about it is like learning a spoken language. You start with the absolute basics, right? Your alphabet and symbols. Then you combine those to form words. In C, those are things like variables and keywords. Those words then get put together to form instructions, which are like sentences. And finally, all those instructions come together to create a complete working program.
And, just like in English, there are kind of two types of words.
First, you have keywords. These are reserved words that have a fixed, special meaning in the language. Things like if or while. Then you have identifiers. These are the names that you, the programmer, get to create for your own variables and functions. It's really just the difference between a word that the dictionary gives you and a name that you make up yourself.
So after all that, where does this leave us today? Well, C is definitely not just some history lesson. It is the absolute bedrock for the most critical software you can imagine. We're talking about the operating system on your laptop, the compilers that build other programs, all the way down to the tiny embedded systems in your car or your microwave. C is right there, and it's still prized for its incredible stability and performance.
When you think about it, C was this monumental leap forward in how we humans talk to machines. It created a common tongue, a lingua franca, that allowed us to build the incredibly complex digital world we all live in today. And that leaves us with a really fascinating question, doesn't it? What is the next great language we're going to teach our machines, and what incredible new worlds will that allow us to build?